Okay, round two. Wow, sitting over here, um, I look a lot better. I think I have to make these videos here from now on because, well, I gotta fix my hair. Make sure I look pretty for this. Anyway, as pretty as I'm gonna get. But, so one of the things that I believe the Lord has taught me is just the importance that we have in His kingdom. Each and every one of us. No matter how small of a part it may seem like we are, or we in God's overall plan, it's still important. You know, Jesus said that we are His body, and He is the head. We're the body, but in the body, there's a lot of stuff. In the body, there's cells there's small things like blood vessels, and there's even bacteria in the body that's naturally a part of it. Then we got the big stuff like the arms and the legs and the toes and the fingernails and the toenails, and even things on the face like the nose and the eyes and the mouth. And there's the body is comprised of quite a bit of things, some big, some small, but equally important. And a lot of times we don't think like that. It's just, the people, the big ministries, or with this great calling as a prophet or something, as, someone, or even in the world, someone who has a big business or make lots of money as the important people. And this is the most important time. But, just like in a relay race, the last person to finish, he doesn't get all the credit. He's just the last leg, but the whole entire team wins from start to finish. And that goes thousands of generations deep. I believe as powerful and as big and as awesome as God is, He has planned things from eternity. And, He even says in the Bible that He knows how many strands of hair we have. And they're always falling out too, so He must know how many strands of hair we have at any given moment. So, and I believe it. God is big. He made this world and everything in it, so He's got to know far more than we give Him credit for or think He knows. He knows us inside and out because He created us. He knows our emotions. He knows our thoughts. He knows our struggles. He knows, everything that goes on in our minds, in our brains, because He made it that way. He's the creator. But anyway, so I was explaining this to Kelly one day, because her line, and being of Korean descent, for thousands of years, most of us our ancestors were farmers, or basically something along those lines. And like Kelly's father was an apple farmer, and he did that for all of his life until the day he died. And by being an apple farmer, he was able to support and raise 4 of his siblings and 4 of his own kids, and put them all through school, and a lot of them were very successful. But he did that all being an apple farmer. And he wasn't a Christian though, but he lived the righteous, good life. He didn't believe in God, but of course he was flawed. He made a lot of mistakes, and he had character issues like all of us do. But overall, in general, he was a good man, and I believe he's with the Lord, even though he didn't know the Lord the way we know the Lord, but in his own way he knew. And we don't really see his life as something grand, but it was important because through him Kelly was born, and my parents as well. They have their own backstories, and all the different just things that had to happen for them to get together, for me to be born, and for us to have our kids, me and Kelly, Rachel and Ethan. And I don't know what the future is in store for them, but I know it's something awesome, because even with me and Kelly, the Lord has planned something awesome. We'll see what becomes of it. He's blessed us so much that this house that we have here, it's a gift of God. It's a miracle that we own this home, and we own our own business and our own building, and all of that too is a gift of God. There's miracle stories that happened that I haven't recorded, but maybe one day I will. But incredible testimonies of the goodness of God. And so, that being said, Kelly's father was important part of the plan. Without him, Kelly wasn't born. Without Kelly being born, we're not doing what we're doing. And our kids aren't going to do what they're doing. And who knows what their kids are going to be up to and what the Lord has planned for them. But they could be world changers. Heck, me and Kelly, we could be world changers. Or we could just be called to raise world changers. Or be the grandparents of world changers. But whatever our part is, I'm good with that. Because I know Jesus. And I'm fulfilled. And just like Kelly's dad and Kelly's mom and all of her ancestors and all of my ancestors, they had to be exactly where they were, when they were, met who they met in order for me to be me. Right here, right now, making this video. And I know God had a hand in all of it. Straight down the line. We don't see that. We don't acknowledge it. A lot of times we just look at ourselves and go, oh, wow, look how awesome I am. But that's not true. Right? We may look at poor people in Africa or Southeast Asia or just anywhere in the world where it's poverty stricken and go, oh wow, look how insignificant their lives are. But that's not true. There's significance in everybody, and I believe God has made it that way. We just don't know the big picture. We just don't see it. But God is awesome. God is big. And whether you're just that little freckle on the body, or whether you're the eye itself, the seer, or maybe you're the smeller, or heck, you could be a blood vessel that carries the DNA, the life, or you could be a toenail, or the fungus underneath the toenail. I don't know. We all play a part. Small and big. It's all important for life to happen. Like a little eyebrow, a little piece of little hair in the eyebrow. Well, that eyebrow is pretty important. Without it, I look way different. And it takes a whole bunch of them. Imagine if I just had one little tiny eyebrow. That would be weird. That would look weird. So, everything's important. Just the way I am. Even these little white little hairs. And, I'm getting older. I'm 42 now. But, and honestly, I think, there's humility in being the small thing. And that is what God is looking for. He's looking for true humility, the servant's attitude. You could be a billionaire and be the most humble person in the world if you have the attitude and the character of Christ, and and you come to serve and not to be served. We reign as kings, but servant kings, and that is how God has commissioned us to be in the kingdom. A lot of us Christians, we put on a facade of humbleness, and a lot of times we just look poor. We don't wear nice clothes, we don't put on makeup, we don't wear any jewelry, and but we drive around in a fancy car, and we say that's humble. No, that's not humble. You just look poor. You have a poverty mentality. But true humility is humility of the heart. Can you get down and take care of somebody? And can you get on your knees and wash somebody's foot? Can someone insult you and say, peace unto you, brother, without getting offended and, going, oh, 자존심, and oh, you wounded my pride, and because that's human nature, right? You could look poor and you could look real humble, but someone says something against your intellect, or someone says something against, anything about you, and you could easily get offended and go, oh, well, I can't believe you would say that about me. I'm so wounded in my pride, So the way you look means nothing. Even Jesus said, it's nothing the way you look. It's all about your heart. Where is your heart? Like King David, he was king, but man, he was a humble man. If you read the book of Psalms, somebody wrote that. They bared their soul when they wrote that. I can't imagine writing a book like that, because that's the total innards of you, just pleading to the Lord for, for forgiveness and for help and for, praise and for glory and for everything, just not, just standing proud like the Pharisees or even biblical scholars of today, the theologians, the professors, the pastors who, think they're so high and mighty in their knowledge of God, and, they spew doctrine, they spew, theology like their God, and, and how well they know the word, and, they look down on people. That's a spirit of the Pharisee, right? And we do that all the time with, whether it's a Sabbath, or whether it's, grace, or whether it's, any theological point, we're just so impressed by our own intellect and our own understanding. And if someone challenges that, oh man, you're a heretic, or oh, there's no grace, it's all I know best attitude, and that's not humility. That's the opposite of it, right? So, we really have to learn how to be just laid down, humble spirits. Learn how to be the freckle, right? Learn how to be the eyelash. Learn how to be the Dunkop. You want to be a Dunkop? No one wants to be a Dunkop, but someone got to do it, right? But I believe at the end of the day, when we meet the Lord in heaven, God will be like, man, you did your job well, son, being that Dunkop. I'm going to give you glory beyond glory up here. You're not going to be a Dunkop anymore. You're going to be reigning with me as a king. So be proud of where you are and where you stand with the Lord, right? That's something that the Lord taught me, and I believe that's truth. I like to believe that's truth. Roxy, you're not supposed to be up here. What are you doing? Hey, this is the couch. Please go down. 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 Thank you, Roxy. She kind of stinks too. Makes my couch stink. And she sheds a little bit, so I find stinky hair on my couch. Don't like it. She gets to stay right there. But she's awfully cute. Look at her. Hey, Roxy. Roxy. Hey, Roxy. Oh, you're so cute. You're so cute. She's adorable. She's about 11 months now. Or 10 months. Yeah, about 11 months. Cairn Terrier. She's awesome. Listens good. Just smells bad. Not horrible, but not good. I need to give her a bath. Maybe it's my fault.